Hi you guys, happy day 6 of Vlogmas. I'm still not feeling 100%. I was saying last night I did my video really late and I had an amazing day and I was so tired, and then I've probably taken like 8 naps today. I'm just so tired, but I don't have any other like cold symptoms or anything. I'm just exhausted. So pardon my super lazy messy bun and my low energy, but I really thought about this and I was like, God, so far I swear everything has been bouncing back and forth between two cards, the Hierophant and Hermit, and today's prompt is what card most accurately depicts or talks about my spiritual journey. Let me read it exactly. What card represents my spiritual journey? And so, of course, I think that the one that makes the most sense is the Hermit, and I definitely love that card, but I really decided just to go a little bit deeper on this one today, and what was like the catalyst for my spiritual journey. And I chose the Death card. And this specific one, of course, it says death and rebirth. And so for me, it was the death of my ex-husband. Although we had only been divorced for 30 days when he died. We had been together since I was 16, and he died when I was 35. And he was 38, and this was 7.5 years ago, almost 8 years ago. The father of my children, and more specifically than his death was his journey to death, and it was a very long, dragged out drug addiction with opiates, and through that we lost everything, and I lost like everything. I don't know, I'm trying not to get emotional right now. But then with his actual death, I gained everything. And he used to say all the time, even when we were kids, he would say that, he wasn't going to live to be 40. And of course, when you're 19, 20 years old, you're like, oh, like, don't talk like that. And he just always would bring it up throughout our life together. He would say how the only way he was ever going to be able to take care of me would be through dying. And I didn't know why he thought that, but it was like he had a knowing. It wasn't just that he thought that, it's like he knew that. And when he passed away, it was obviously such a painful and traumatic time, but because we had been divorced for 30 days, my job at the time that I had worked out for 20 years wouldn't offer me any bereavement pay, because we were technically divorced, even though I had been married to him every single day that I had worked for this company for 20 years. And I still had to take care of my kids, and they just didn't care. And I just said, okay, well then I quit. And I quit my job, my career. I loved my job and I was great at it. And I just quit. I had no idea what I was going to do, how I would make it through, or, to be able to even live, let alone take care of myself and my girls. And it was through that process, and I had always been into spirituality. I was a everyday, avid Oprah Winfrey watcher, so I was always like into the books, The Secret and A New Earth with Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra and all of like the new age, stuff. I was always into it. And I was a very spiritual person. I had already done transcendental meditation and all the things, but you have to go through that dark night of the soul to put these teachings into perspective, and so I quit my job, and I spent like a good 2 or 3 years just mourning, not doing a lot. And then I was starting to kind of feel restless, and I just needed something to have again, and I got interested in tarot again. Like I've said, I purchased my first deck, the Mythic Tarot, in the late 90s when I was 18, but I didn't ever really work with it. And so all of a sudden I thought, well, maybe I'll work with tarot again. And I went back to the same store like 20 years later, 25 years later, to buy a tarot deck. And I bought the Mythic Tarot again, but it was the newer version in the purple box. And that deck just did not want to work with me. I don't know why I didn't just pick up a regular, Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I picked that deck up and then immediately just was like not connecting to it. So then I got on Amazon and I picked up 2 Oracle decks. I picked up the Judy Hall Crystal Wisdom Healing deck and the Terry Hart Chakra Oracle. And those decks just clicked with me, and I started to really read a lot of Oracle cards and collect a lot of Oracle cards. And then I finally thought, you know what? I'm just going to go and sign up for a tarot course. And it was based off of the more traditional RWS system. So I ended up actually trading my purple Mythic Tarot for a regular RWS deck with one of my friends. And we kind of joked how that was like kind of our way that we, that way I wasn't purchasing my own deck. I kind of traded. Actually, she had been gifted the deck from her mom, but anyways, and I got my first Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and it just finally like clicked with me. And anyway, so when I think about my spiritual journey, it's been a long one. There were definitely the Hermit fits, but for me, it's going to have to be the Death card and the Rebirth card. And, I'm happily remarried, and, I have a very complicated story that I kind of touched on in the hashtag You and the Tarot. So if anybody watched that, you guys kind of already know. But I'm not going to get into all that right now because I'm just too tired anyways. And I've already gotten emotional. But the card that best describes my spiritual journey is the Death and the Rebirth card. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for day 7.